Hello, everybody. Welcome to the season finale, maybe. We'll see about this, of the Smell the Glow podcast. We know we're on a Saturday. The Cup final is over, and none of us are all that happy that we didn't get a chance to see Celtic play this. But we wanted to get a last show and then talk about what we're going to do over the summer before we were all done. This is Dr. J over here at MB Ball Deep checking in with everybody. And I know we've got two people with us. Gary Rev. Say
hell.
And we also have St. Paulie D.
Hey, boys. How's it going?
Oh, this is great. We apologize for missing out on the last couple of weeks. We've had some issues. I'll get into some of the trials and tribulations that we've had as far as different things. But of all the things we had going on, some of the best stuff that we did was wrap up a league and have a little party at Paradise. P with a hashtag P with a number 4 RTY, which I thought was pretty ingenious. That was pretty cute. But anyway, so what we wanted to do today was actually cover some things, talk about some stuff, and really have just a little bit of fun. We're not going to be on forever because we have some things we want to talk about and some stuff we want to get off our chest before we're done, and set up what we're going to do in the future. And we'll talk about that at the end, especially what's coming up in the next couple of days. So anyway, Rev.
Yes.
Talk to me. What were you doing for the? Where were you for the party at Paradise, the final game?
I was just at home. You know, it was a 7:30 kickoff for us.
Yes.
So I just got up, just watched. I took the extra step and got out of bed and plugged the laptop into my TV so I could watch it on a proper flat screen.
Look at you.
Yeah, and I'm glad. I mean, obviously everyone's glad we won, but. We had the 5-0 win because, what was it, 2 years ago when our final game was 5-0, I think Gary Hooper scored all the goals.
Right.
I was actually in the ER that morning, so I completely missed the game. So this was nice to be okay, finally I get to see a proper, total just domination blowout for, to cap off the season. But no, yeah, it was a, great game. The feed I had cut out right as soon as the game ended, so I have to, pull up the Mod Bro app on my phone.
Mod
thankfully,
Bro, yes, the best app ever.
Yeah, just got straight from BT or Sky or whatever channel it was on, and got to actually watch the trophy presentation and the celebration. So that was nice.
And did you participate in the Ronnie Roar?
Did I what?
Participate in the Ronnie Roar?
Oh, of course. And everyone thinks I'm mad because I'm just yelling, yeah.
St. Paulie D.
Yeah, I just watched it in the house. I mean, I don't think I even got out of bed, so I think Rev took a step further than me. I ended up watching it on my phone. I've been finding recently that I get the best connection watching it on my iPhone. So, yeah, I watched it, enjoyed it. I think a few people, like the homeboys, have already said that, bringing all the wives and kids on the lap of honour kind of takes away from it a little bit, and I kind of agree with that.
Really?
It was good to see.
Yeah. Talk about that. I didn't have that on my list for today. You really don't like the kids and stuff?
I think it's something that's already been covered by other shows. But yeah, I remember being a kid and going to see. My favourite flag day ever was the day that Martin O'Neill won the league for the first time for us. And I remember walking up towards the stadium, and everybody was pissed that morning. Everybody, fucking paralytic drunk. And there's a guy outside Ladbrokes on the way up to the stadium who had a tiny little Irish flag. He was walking down the middle of the street, weaving in and out of traffic, playing an imaginary drum, pretending to have a Republican march by himself, and I was just pissing myself. And then in the stadium, the atmosphere was amazing. We'd been waiting for the league for so long, and then when the boys done the lap of honour, I remember throwing my scarf down, and Paul Lambert picked it up and put it on and all that. I was a kid at the time, so I was pretty chuffed. And that was before everybody started bringing their kids on. And to be honest with you, I mean, I just saw Cali Thistle lift the cup there a couple of minutes ago, and John Hughes brought his 2 daughters up. I said, Ronnie, and it's very nice for them, but unless you know those people, it's really, really boring. It's it doesn't really matter. It's I just want to see the players of the trophy come out And the more time the players have away from the families, the more time they have to interact with the fans, etc., and all that. And then, like, I mean, Mir Baton having his agent out on the field.
Oh, is that who that was?
Yeah. That's our man, Doo-Doo.
It is. Peter Lawwell's best mate. So
that's our man, Doo-Doo.
Yeah, no, I think I think what you would do is this, right? Do a lap of honour for the fans, pick up all the scarves, go down and do all that, right? I'm not saying sit about taking selfies with everybody, because that's fucking wank, but just go about, pick up the scarves that they throw, do a lap of honour, bring the cup right round the stadium, and then bring out the kids. If you've got kids and your wife's there and all that, then bring them out to take photographs after that's been done, because it's like folk, you know, an extra 20 minutes in the ground when you've got the songs on the go and lifting the league trophy. Like, folk aren't going to mind. You know what I mean? They'll stick it out for another 20 minutes. So yeah, that's the only thing. But like, you can't really complain. When you're winning the league. It seemed to be a great atmosphere in the stadium. So it's a shame that still we don't fill out to 60,000 even when we're getting the league trophy. You know. So.
Yeah, 55,000 for the game. Yeah.
Pretty strange that my sister went. My sister doesn't like football at all, but her boyfriend's a massive Tim, so she went with him and jumped on the bandwagon just to see the cup getting lifted. So
did she go to the coronation just to spite you?
She should have. No, I don't think she did.
Oh, okay. See, I was lucky. I was actually in New Orleans, and a shout out to the New Orleans boys. Let me tell you something. That place down there, there's 4 or 5 hardcore fellas, and let me tell you something. The game started 6:30 local time in New Orleans down at Finn McCool's, and what an it was just guys there having a drink, relaxing. Of course, New Orleans, you could basically, you list something that you could do in your bedroom at night. You could do it in the street in New Orleans. But one of there was the absolute best there. Magners at 6:30, and let me tell you, they wouldn't let me buy a drink. I'm like, here, let me buy. At the end, I was like, I had to like sneak a drink and pay for it and leave a $20 tip for the bartender. I'm like, come on, you guys won't let me buy a drink. This is crazy. I mean, they bought me breakfast. It was just one of those things. They were just happy to see someone else new there, I guess. I don't know. But it was a great guy. Had a good time. Watched the game. Probably 5 or 6 of us there at 6:30 in the morning watching the game. And if you get a chance, if you get to New Orleans, even if it's not a game day, go check the place out. It is an absolute. It is a cool locals bar. It doesn't. I mean, it's probably a $8 cab ride from downtown if you're down in the quarter on Canal Street, and then you're there in probably 8-12 minutes. But what an absolute cool place. I can't tell you how awesome it was to be down there. But what a great place that is. Anyway, so we got to see the game. And by the way, I had a good time. I thought it was good. Got to get about half in the bag and then get on a flight home, which was interesting to go through TSA half drunk. But one thing I wanted to say about people, as Paul brought up, the kids on the field during the celebration, I want to go ahead. Can we turn that into a current U.S. sporting issue? And let's talk about this, how it looks there versus here. As you guys, the people in the UK may or may not know, there's been some issue with this guy who plays basketball, Steph Curry, bringing his how old's his daughter? 4, 5, onto the stage during the post game press conference, mm-hmm. which some people like, some people don't like. Do you see a difference between the two, Paul? Yeah, I know you've seen it. It's Steph Curry's daughter brings up there, and it's like during the press conference they bring the daughter. Rev, what do you think?
I've got to be honest, I've not seen it, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, really? Rev. If Rev hasn't calmed down yet from the celebration of the New York Rangers losing last night, by the way, and then posting his suicide hotline number. That was funny. But go ahead. What do you think, Rev?
No, yeah, I haven't seen it, but I mean, yeah, just going on hearing that, I think that's a bit much, because I mean, yeah, if you said his daughter was like 4, 5, 6, that's, got to be mind-numbing. I mean, I remember just going to a store with my mom at that age and just wanting to get the hell out of there. So imagine sitting in a press conference, twiddling your thumbs later at night, I'm sure, too. It's like, that's a bit much, yeah.
Yeah, the kid's 5 or 6, and she's up, and it's 11 o'clock, and I'm already asleep.
What the fuck's this got to do with Celtic?
No, I'm just curious. It has nothing to do with Celtic. I'm just curious if you see a difference between the two. See, I don't see a. See, I'm saying this is what I'm saying. I have an issue with a kid at a press conference, post game press conference. I have no issue with them on their walk of honor. if you're going to say where's the line drawn, that's where the line's drawn. I have no issue with a kid when they're doing their lap of honor. I have no problem with that at all.
I think, Dr. J, it's not the case of we think that the kids aren't getting looked after. It's a case of it's meant to be a wee moment where the fans and the players come together, and when you see the Tommy Burns stuff in the late 80s and all that, and it's about the fans and the players celebrating together. When it becomes the players and their families celebrating in front of the fans, it becomes a separation thing.
No, I don't buy it. Because let me tell you what would would have happened if that wasn't allowed. If that wasn't allowed, no one would know who WeeJBD would be or is.
Like I said, there's ways you can get around it. You can do the lap of honor, then bring kids on.
You're just a stodgy old fuck. That's all you are.
I mean, I kind of agree with that. It'll never happen again. But I mean, when the game's over, Cup Final 2 or something like that. Not a pitch invasion, but let the fans on the pitch. We've had that here, not for a long time, but Yankees winning the World Series in the late 70s, and then storming thing. Oh, yeah. Well, not personally, but I mean, I've seen it.
What was that all about? I remember that. I remember Chris Chambliss hitting the home run against Kansas City Royals, and all of a sudden, Chris Chambliss had to knock people over to get the home plate.
I wasn't even a thought in my parents' mind at that time. So
is that a backhanded comment, Paul? Damn. All right, never mind.
Am I the youngest here?
I saw that shit live. That's how old I am. Fuck. All right. Anyway, that's not to get off topic, but I have no problem with that. And you know what?
Not to get off topic.
Not to get off topic. I have no problem with it. If you're going to say it's a kid in a press conference, I have a problem with it. That's his job. The game's over. Who cares? Let them celebrate too. I mean, listen, the team and the game itself takes them away from their kids enough as it is. I have no problem with that on the field. Anyone complaining about kids on the field during a lap of honor is just fucking pissing in the wind. That's bullshit.
It's the soccer dad in you that's is that.
Oh man, don't even start.
This guy. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're talking from a dad perspective too.
Yeah,
you're the only one with a kid, so I mean, I'm not knocking you for that, obviously, but just you do have that point of view. So
I'm not a professional athlete. I'm not a professional athlete. I mean, having a kid's one thing. I have no problem with them celebrating, them bring their family. Not at all. But I mean, as far as kids goes, trust me, I've had my issues the last couple weeks. There's been a couple of times I wanted to do a call, and if some of you guys follow me on Twitter, my son played in the State Cup semifinal for a chance to play Region 3 Premier, which is like just one step below Development Academy, and he got a concussion in the first half and was knocked like loopy. And as you guys know, I'm a chiropractor, and I went over and I teach risk management. I teach seminars cross country, so I know exactly what's going on concussion wise. And it was so sad, guys. You have no idea. I asked Max, I go to Max, and I'm like, Max, you okay? And he goes, hey, Dad, what's the score? And I'm like, dude, you're the goalkeeper. He's like, yeah, who hit me? How did I get here? What time is it? What day is today? I mean, he literally had no idea. So, I mean, when you get confronted with that, I mean, it's family. All that together, maybe I am the softie here, and family doesn't bother me. But, that kind of stuff, I wouldn't, that when athletes go through that kind of stuff, and that's the stuff they go through from the time they're 12 or 13 or 14 to the time that they're professionals, I have no problem with them, with their families. I mean,
Can I make one point?
Go ahead. Tell me how I'm an old, soft bastard. Go ahead.
No, I'm just going to wrap this up.
Go ahead, please.
If Lee Griffiths keeps on pumping out kids, we're going to be there all day.
Hey, listen, if Lee Griffiths did his job even better, we could sell out those last 5,000 seats.
So, are you blaming Lee Griffiths for not selling out Celtic Park?
Listen, did you say seminate Celtic Park?
Selling it.
Oh, sorry.
All right, wait. All right, one more thing that I'll flip it with. I'm more okay with them bringing their families on the pitch at the end of the game than, say, at like the Super Bowl or World Series here. During the game, they'll cut to the players' girlfriends and wives and mothers and stuff every 10 seconds.
That I hate.
Just sitting there. That I think. I mean, that's more on the broadcast. But
you know what's weird? You say that even as a parent of a player, and even like like tomorrow we go up for I take Max for a 3.5 hour drive to take him to the Olympic Development Program for the final cut for training to go to his region camp. And as even I know there are other people listening to this who have kids play at a high level, and you have these delusions of grandeur that maybe my kid can do this, maybe he can't, maybe he can, and you sit there and I know for a fact I would never ever want the camera on me. You know what I mean? At that level, it's like I'm like a spaz. I'm not a spaz watching, but I'm like an absolute like wreck watching him play. And there's no way. I mean, I couldn't take the grief. Could you imagine? Paul kills me now about being old and everything else. Can you imagine if you saw me on TV with my son playing, and I had to be chewing on my nails, sucking on my lips? Oh my god!
Two points to make here. Firstly, I've got a mate who works for Sky Sports, and whenever you see like BBC pictures of like players celebrating, their cameraman in the background, he's got a collection of pictures of him celebrating with like Premier League games and all that. But one of his favourite sports is tennis, and he was down filming Wimbledon. He said it was great. Oh yeah, got into the press box talking to this really hot Russian tennis player and all that. And he had his mate with him, man, who was also a cameraman. And I said to him, "How was your day? Do you not enjoy it?" Because he looked fucking miserable. He goes, "My day was shite." I'm like, "How?" He goes, "I was the guy who had to put the camera on Andy Murray's maw all day." Oh. And I just sat and watched Andy Murray's maw for like the reaction shot. So imagine the poor cunt that actually has to do that all day. Oh. Secondly, talking about you being a soccer dad, you've been upstage today.
Oh, what'd I do?
No, who did it? Peter Grant's boy was playing in the Scottish Cup final.
Oh.
Where was Max at today, eh?
Max is at Academy Training today.
It's hardly a Scottish Cup final, though, is it?
No, not yet, man. Not yet. We got time. He's good. He's only how old is he? He's gonna be 14, so he'll be fine. I have time for him. But anyway, so let's go through a couple of things now that we've gone through one thing I didn't expect, but I had a couple of things I wanted to go through, and I wanted to actually, I'm going to say this, and I know Gary doesn't give a shit what I'm going to say, and Paul doesn't care because he doesn't know anything about it. And we're going to talk about some international football for a second, and related to Celtic. There was an article the other day about the top 100 players that were going to be released. And Paul, when we first started the show, one of the biggest things you wanted and you thought would be great signings would be Bosman's. Yes. At the end of their contract. This article listed the top 100 players that were in the championship or going to be in the championship that were going to be released from their contract. And one of them, of all of them, I mean, most of them I have no idea who the hell they are because I don't watch the championship. But one of them was Nguchi Onyewu, which I thought was really, really odd that was someone that they said Celtic should sign. Now, Rev, you know who Nguchi Onyewu is?
Oh yeah, love the Gooch.
Yeah, I love the Gooch, right? He played for Red Bull, didn't he?
No, no. Yeah, I think he played for New England.
New England, okay. Now,
bitches.
That's funny, yeah, like something like MLS. No, but in all seriousness, I mean, he's out of contract. But how many knees has he had? Like 5 or 6 knee operations. Yeah,
I was at one of the. I think it was the
operations.
Yeah,
you were at one of his operations.
Yeah,
you're a doctor.
Amazing. I mean, that's the level of player that they're talking about. That's in the championship, which is kind of odd. I bring it up for 2 reasons. One is the guy has about the mobility of an orange road cone. That's his mobility to start with. Rev, you wouldn't disagree with that. I mean,
yeah, no, he's a big hulking but slow dude.
Slow, yeah. You time him with like not a stopwatch, but like an actual like sundial. He left on Tuesday. He arrived sometime on Wednesday. And then the reason why I say that is because what kills me about all this stuff and all the players that we should sign and everything else, and I'm going to talk about that in a few seconds, but one of the things I thought was interesting about the article was with all those players, none of them I thought were the ones that I did recognize. None of them I thought were any better or any worse than what we have, which is really interesting because if those are like the top players in the championship that are being released, how can people really say that Celtic wouldn't finish mid-table or slightly below with the team they currently have in the championship, if not win the championship or be at the very top? You know what I mean? For the players that are being released that were on there, some decent names. It was just one of those weird things that you start looking at. You're like, these are the best players. Come on, we have players better than this right now. And it was just one of those things. I was just really, really curious if anyone had seen that. Have you seen any list of players that the Celtics should go, Paul? Should go after?
I'll just make a little point there that if you put the current Celtic team in the championship with Ronnie Deila as manager, it wouldn't just be a case of us winning it. I think we'd win it by fucking 10 points. Like, I think we're that much better than championship football, to be honest with you. My thing is a player that we constantly get linked to is Boyata, Manchester City, who just happened to play in my back doorstep. You know what I mean? He was playing at Toronto FC, which I can see their stadium out my window right now, for Manchester City versus Toronto FC on Wednesday night. I didn't go. However, my girlfriend's brother-in-law is a huge Manchester City fan. He's actually a Manc, so he's not like, oh, that's about Manchester City.
That was a good American.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah,
that was
good. And I'm a man of many talents. But he went to the game, and Boyata actually played 85 minutes, then coming off injured. Said he played well, and I just grilled him about Boyata, and he was like, how is he? And he's like, if he comes up to you, I think he's a good player. I think he's just been unlucky. You know, he's definitely a player in there. He's a good centre half. He's really physical. He's got a lot of great movement. He's strong. He's the type of player that you guys would want. And then he started grilling me about Denier, and I was giving Denier a glowing report. He's like, it sounds like we get Denier back and you get Boyata. Sounds good. But Boyata is probably the type of player that I can see us going for, where it's a player who's not kind of worked out at a major club, but he obviously had some pedigree to be there to begin with, and taking him on a free transfer. So yeah, that sounds pretty good to me at the moment. And the other boy at Evian we were looking at is suspended for football for 6 months.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, so we can't go after him. If you don't know the story, it seems that he signed for a club whilst being ineligible. He was signed to another club at the time. So he's been banned from football for 6 months, which means that we can't get him. And he was out of contract as well. So that could have been two centre halves we got for nothing.
Now let me ask you a question. If I log on to like Celtic Transfer News on Facebook or something like that, I love the comments, because the comments are the funniest shit ever. Because it's all stuff like, oh well, this person sucks and this person blows and this person's horrible and no one's any good. I mean, no, they're not our level. They're not this. They're not this. Let me ask you a question, Rev. If based on the Ronnie Deila, we'll call it his manifesto or his actual speech that he gave, right? All the stuff they talked about. Do you put more trust in some of these unknown names based on the way he pulled Stromsgodset into what he did? And what he had done there, considering they just fired their coach the other day, his assistant coach.
Oh, did they? Yeah.
They just fired him because he didn't do the same thing. He wasn't the same. He was in the same mold, but didn't actually get the same result. What do you think about those names that? I mean, like someone screaming out, "We need a name to get excited about." That's not him.
Right.
That's not Deila's thing, don't you think?
Right. I mean, I think as the Celtic itself. It's just natural that we kind of do need a bit of a marquee name, for the fans. But, going on Ronnie's system and everything, I do have faith in him, kind of getting something out of, these unknown players, and credit to the scouting department, too, for, finding these diamonds in the rough that we have been for, the past 4 or 5 years as well. When he came in the summer, I was, cautiously optimistic, not knowing a thing about him. But I'm like, all right, I'm sure he can do the job to, a decent level. And, and everyone knows how the summer went in the first bit of the league. And then it just, my confidence dropped off. But, then once, Thanksgiving for us and Christmas rolled around and, you saw how strong they were. And it's really just a matter of, the existing players that have been on the team not having the chemistry that they used to and having to adapt to, the new style, the new form of play in Ronnie's system. And, once they clicked and once they knew what was expected of them and how to play, and the players all echoed that, like, why they weren't playing and how to talk with him, and everything became clear. And it's like, okay, now this is it. And I do have pretty much total confidence in him as a manager. I was never a fan of the 4-2-3-1. I always thought that was pretty defensive or too defensive for my liking. Do like a 4-4-2 or like a diamond 4-4-2 was always kind of my favorite. But he makes it work, and damn, I really like that formation now and the style that they use. So he's definitely sold me, and I'm on the Ronnie train.
So Ronnie train's cool. What I see that. What my question is, are you worried about the name? Are you worried about the name brand player now, knowing what Ronnie's goal is as far as?
Can I make a point here?
People, go ahead. What do you think, Paul? You think you worried about the name brand player?
Absolutely not. Name brand players are not what we should do at all. But a point would be that how many name players did we used to sign? I mean, I've got Tommy Burns. People used to go out. If you say, right, I've heard people say certain things. People aren't showing up because they aren't signing players that we've heard of. That's pish.
Dude, how many times have we heard excuses? Oh, it's not Saturday at 3 o'clock.
That's the excuse.
It's not
I never heard.
It's not that.
I heard the guy phone up the homeboys going on, the kids need a hero. The kids, they don't have anyone to cheer for. They don't have anyone they want. Mate, as a kid in the early 90s, I got in my first legitimate fight at school because I wanted to be Pat McGinley at football, and the other guy wanted to be Pat McGinley, and we got in fucking fight. Pat fucking McGinley. That's what we were running about. That was the days before you had players in the back of your shirt.
I thought you were young enough that like Paddy McCourt was your best player as a kid. Is that not true?
I wish, mate.
Oh,
right,
okay.
so that's pish as well. Secondly, right, I've got all of the. Well, this
By
is
the way, that
games.
happens here. Like we'll fight over who's like their favorite Paddy here. Like St. Paddy's Day or Paddy McCourt. I'm definitely taking Paddy McCourt every time.
Right. Okay. Here's all of Tommy Burns' signings. Right. So you've got Andy Walker, who is a known player, but he's Scottish, and also at the end of his career. Phil O'Donnell, he's Scottish, so that doesn't really count. Tosh McGinley, that's Scottish. So the first big signing we had was Pierre Van Hooijdonk, and if anybody claims that they knew Pierre Van Hooijdonk before he came to Celtic, they're talking pish. Then they've got Andy Tom. He was a good pedigree player in Germany, but I don't think anyone had ever heard of him. He played in the World Cup for Germany in '94, but didn't really get a game. He was in the squad. How many those guys you really hear of? We obviously got Jackie McNamara, who's from Dunfermline, we knew about him. Morton Vickers was from Dundee, we knew about him, but yet again, Scottish signings. George Cadet, does anyone really know about George Cadet before he came to Celtic? Probably lying if you say aye. Alan Stubbs was with Bolton in English First Division before he came up here, but was a big signing. Paolo Di Canio, we got him from AC Milan, obviously, but I don't know if anyone knew Paolo Di Canio before he came over. So probably the biggest signing, the first name signing that Tommy Burns made was Tommy Johnson, because he was scoring goals for fun for Aston Villa in the English Premier League at the time. So of all those signings, Tommy Johnson's your biggest signing. I mean, we still filled Celtic Park in those seasons, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I think that's a lot of pish as well. I mean, like, if you look at your Larsons, people would have heard of Larson. I remember him scoring in USA '94, but you're better getting players who aren't household names but are reasonably good football players. You're looking for guys who are name mugs. You've not really heard of them that much, but you're aware that they're a good player. That's exactly what I'm looking for.
Yeah, I'm with you. Because what makes me laugh is all these comments that this person's pitch, this person's horrible, this person's this. You know what? If you really, if in the same breath, they'll go, oh, well, I love and trust Ronnie. Okay, cool. Then let him do his thing, because if you watched his art, his speech, his seminar that he gave, he talks about his entire team that ran away with the Norwegian, was it Tippeligaen or whatever it's called, right? Every one of those teams, he goes, we got this person for free, no one liked him. This person for free, this person no one liked. This person came to us at a free transfer. This person was out of contract. This person here, blah blah blah. The entire flipping team. that he runs over. Was it Rosen? He runs over Rosenborg with. I mean, he he takes the entire team from nothing and then builds a team that's willing to go and do that. And 3 or 4 of the team members were people who were what do you say that were had attitude issues. And one of the people that he talked about in that thing was Johansson, who had an attitude issue. And he's like, I don't see it now. No one knows what that is. Now Johansson was the Norwegian Footballer of the Year. I mean, you gotta either you trust the guy to do his thing or you don't. Now, if you're gonna say, Celtic's history of signing strikers is not that good, that's a fair assessment. But then again, I don't know how much Ronnie had invested in signing strikers when he had just gotten here, or whether or not they really trust him to do that. But I have the slight suspicion that he's going to be slightly involved more now than he was when he first got here last year in July and August, or June or July.
Going back to the players as heroes thing, we don't need necessarily like a name for kids to want it as a hero. We just need someone to stick around long enough, and be a Celtic man, and that can be their hero. I mean, look at who's there. Who right now? Let me ask you this, Rev. Who would be your hero now? Who's that player? I'd say, given with a little more looking at seniority, kind of that way, I'd be between Scott Brown and Chris Commons. Yeah, Chris Commons only been here 3.5 years. But I mean, I'd also throw in Stefan Johansson too, even though it's been a year and a half. But I mean, I see him being fully into it. If you want to put him to, like I said, that been here for a while, hero type status, yeah, just give him a couple more years. Hopefully, he hangs around. Let me ask you this, because I was going to go into this later, but of the players that we have, which ones do you think are the ones that are going to stick around? If you could can you name 3 players on the team right now outside of Brown and Commons that you think will be here for 3 more seasons? For 3 seasons? Yeah. See, that's the problem. Right. That's a little tougher.
I think. Can I answer that?
Go ahead.
I think the only players. I think Denier's gone and Virgil van Dijk will go, but I think the likes of Griffiths, Brown, Mackay, Stevens, Armstrong, they'll probably all stay. I think Johansson will probably stay. I think Beaton.
You think Johansson stays for 3 more seasons?
Quite possibly, yeah. Unless we choose to cash in on him. I think that unless we choose to sell him, Forrest will stay. We might choose to sell him on the basis of him not getting a game.
Right.
Same with Matt. I think that if Matthews and Lustig were fit, I think we might sell. Yeah. We might sell them on the basis of that they're either not fit, constantly injury prone, or whatever. I don't think.
I think you got one of those 2 going. I think you have one of those 2 going because you have Darnell Fisher behind them.
Well, no. Here's the thing, though. You get players that come like Virgil van Dijk who want to take a step up. I think the only person with that mentality in the team is Virgil van Dijk. If you offered Lustig, Matthews, Izagiri, Brown, Commons, Griffiths, Johansson, Armstrong, Mackay, Stevens, and Beaton,
you're missing somebody.
Who am I missing?
Tony Stokes. Come on, don't leave my boy out.
Yeah. Stokes. If Stokes got offered a new contract,
Stokes is at the top of this list, by the way. I know where you're going with this. I can see the roadmap in advance. Finish it.
Right. The point is that if you offered them all new deals, they'd probably sign them tomorrow.
Yes. Especially Gary Mackay-Steven. Dear God, can someone have a happier face on?
He's going to be the easiest guy to parody, and it's only an excuse ever. He's so over the top. It's hilarious. He sounds like a fucking 10-year-old on Christmas morning or something. I don't know.
It's like when my daughter was 8 or 9 at Disney. I'm at Disney, Dumbo, and
I'm so excited.
You have no idea. I hear him and I'm like, dude, he looks like he's juggling a ball when he's standing still and having an interview. The man makes me dizzy. He makes me dizzy watching him doing his interview. He's just that freaking excited, which I love. But anyway,
yeah, that's perfect. That that
kind of guy I could see.
Right, for the little kids to get them into the team and to appreciate the team and to want to watch games. Yeah, that's the exact kind of mentality you want.
I love the fact we've got a player that's more animated than Hoopy the Hoop Hound.
Yeah, Hoopy doesn't move as fast anymore. I don't know if that's the same guy from 10 years ago, but not moving as well, or even 3 years ago for that matter. So let me ask you this. So with those types of things, obviously, the bitching about who we're going to get, just shut up and just let it pan out. It just drives me crazy. The next thing I wanted to get to was this. We were listed in one of the top 10 UEFA goals this year.
I was going to bring this up.
Go ahead.
My point about this is that, see, if Barcelona had scored that goal, that it'd be all over Facebook of all these like North American fans being like, "Oh my God, this is why I support Barcelona." Unreal play.
This is why I support Barcelona.
Yeah,
give me that in American. That was good.
No, I'm not going to patronize anyone anymore. But no, like literally, if that was scored by a fucking Spanish guys or Italian guys, they'd be cheesing themselves over this team goal. But it's just because it's Scottish, and we don't have that pedigree of we're not expected to be total football.
Is it because they're afraid that half the team was like half smashed on Buckfast at kickoff?
Yeah. It's a brilliant goal.
It is a great goal.
It's a fucking great goal.
No, go ahead.
Anyone that complains about Celtic not playing quality football and that's why they don't go to the games, fuck off, because that was brilliant.
Yeah, that was a great goal. So
you're not going to score. That's like Love Street shit. That is Love Street shit.
That was total football. That was a great move from beginning to end. I think almost everyone touched the ball. But was it as good of a goal as dare I say, I don't want to say this out loud, but was it as good of a goal? And did it get you off your seat jumping as much as when Guidetti scored in the 93rd minute?
Well, no, because that was a really important goal.
Yeah.
My celebration.
Was it as good of a strike as Guidetti's? The goal itself.
A strike or the goal? The goal was much better than Guidetti's. The goal that I think I'd compare for goal of the season would be Baton's goal.
No.
Where he side-footed it from 40 yards. That was a fucking screamer.
No way. My top goal of the year is Lustig's diving header.
I can't remember that now.
That's the one that he scored that was the same week of Weejay being in the whatchamacallit. That's the one he steals the ball, passes it back. Remember he scored a double and then hurt his ankle. We hadn't seen him since. It was that game on like a Wednesday night. He steals the ball, moves it through the middle, gives it to Griffiths. Griffiths throws it across the middle, and Commons is waiting to side foot the ball. And here comes Lustig, Superman style, fully flat out diving header, score the goal.
Wait, was Stokes involved in that goal?
Fuck you. No, he's probably on trial for fucking around with some dude named Elvis. Fuck. Anyway, but that to me, I think that's a much better. That was a team goal. Lustig stole the ball, outlet, ran down the middle, 2 passes, crossed to the middle from Griffiths, an absolute bang on header. That to me was the best goal of the season as far as move and strike. That was the best goal. Now the biggest goal, and that made me absolutely scream was Guidetti.
Not because of the goal itself. It's just
his goal. It was. Listen, could you think about this? It's 2-3-4 passes, and then a flick on from Liam Henderson. Come on, a one-touch no look flick on, and he chests the ball, one bounce, and then curls it left foot side. Almost scissor kick into the upper corner of the net. You gotta be kidding me. That was as good as
Walt says this. You'll probably see another goal like that next season. However, it's probably going to be a while till you see a goal like Baton's again. Side foot from that far out. It's fucking unreal technique.
I'm not doubting that. I'm not doubting that. And that's the first time he's hit the ball like that ever too, because he takes that shot at least once a week. Okay, I'm just saying. But then again, listen. Hey, let me ask a question. The last time I saw a goal like his in Celtic colors, you ready? Victor Wanyama against Hearts.
Yeah, I remember that.
How about that one? And then you remember the end of that game?
With the penalty save?
Yes, Big Frazier
with
the left hand. Yeah, remember we had the Willie. Was it another Willie Collum gift at the end of that one, or was it a Brother Bobby gift? Whatever it was a absolute bullshit.
High Mason, Grand Wizard.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, one of those things. That was so. If you were to say goal of the year, Rev, what would you say? I mean, your goal of the year. What would you think it would be?
I definitely like the Lustig goal. The Baton goal was pretty nice. There's no, I just love the physics of the ball sometimes. Like that's, watching replay and stuff.
That ball didn't spin either, did it?
Yeah, just did not move. And that was nice for me, from that far out, zero movement, and just boom, bang on. Watching curled goals is nice and all and everything, and see, whip around and stuff, but just zero movement, just straight bullet. I always love those.
Okay, so if you were to give that, let's say we gave that a 10, what would you give Adam Matthews' goal against Hamilton? Top of the, right off the laces, upper 90 near post, the ball going about 120 miles an hour and hit the net.
I don't think I remember that one.
That was another Liam Henderson steal to Griffiths to Commons and then bang.
I think I vaguely remember, but I don't remember enough to judge it.
He ripped that ball. He hit it from top of the 18, right foot. The ball was still rising when it hit the bottom side of the top of the net. Just phenomenal. To me, that's more of a strike. I'm just not impressed with Baton's goal.
You're not impressed with Baton's goal?
I'm really just not.
I'll make the point that I've actually just watched Lustig's goal again. It is a good goal. What a ball from Griffiths, obviously, but I think Baton's goal and Armstrong's goal are both better.
I'm sure you do.
We're going to do our player of the year shit.
Of course, none of the goals that you're going to pick have anything to do with the 17 goals created or assisted by Stokes, but go ahead. You spiteful bastard.
I don't know. Who are you going to... Wait, have you figured out, like... Oh, wait now, you know how, like, the suicide hotline was on Rev's Facebook page?
That was pretty funny. That was good, Rev.
Yeah, that was pretty funny, but in case you're not aware, it was an ice hockey reference against New York Rangers fans, but I actually thought that was maybe in case Stokes had left Celtic. Yeah, man. What have you thought about... Have we got figured out, like, a crisis counsellor for you?
That is not funny. Don't go there.
What are you going to do, man?
It is. He's been linked pretty heavily to Colorado Rapids.
You can go and smoke the ganj in Colorado.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know. I hate. You know what? You know who I wanted to see come to America was Patty McCourt.
Yeah.
No, I'd hate to see him. I'd hate to see Paddy retire from.
I would buy.
Oh, you like that one, Rev?
What'd you say?
I'm actually going to MLS today. I'm going to go and see Toronto.
Yeah,
because my mate is a big.
Come on, you wouldn't want Patty McCourt to play for Toronto FC?
Like, honestly, I can see their stadium out my window right now. I'm going to the game today, but it's because my mate, who's a big time Celtic man, has got a ticket for me. So you wouldn't be excited. You wouldn't be even more excited if Patty McCourt was lining up in their top 11. I would. If Paddy was there, I would go, and then I'd go and stand on one of their like little playpens they build for the cheerleader fan, and then set fire to Union Jack. So.
See,
just the Canadians.
Now wait a minute, hold. You can't do that in Canada because they still worship the Queen.
I don't know. You're
still fucking Queen lovers over there. I mean, you could do that. You could do that, and listen, they're still saying "fuck you" and kickoffs at Red Bull games. So I mean, or what do you say? What do you guys say when the goal kick takes?
You suck, asshole.
You suck, asshole. There you go. See, now that's cool. That's cool. So why don't I mean you could set fire to a Union Jack, or is that what you call it, a Union Jack?
I believe it's a Union Jack when it's at sea. It's a Union flag.
Is that what it is? Okay. What do you call it? Your whatever UK?
The Bitcher's apron. The Bitcher's
apron. Great. You can set fire to that and you guys no one would say anything.
You can always go to Montreal, Toronto, and set fire there. I'm sure they'll love that.
Yeah.
They'll help.
But it's no fun to get cursed out in a language I don't understand.
No, I'm saying they would help you. There's no love lost,
Oh, the French?
In Montreal, yeah.
I hate them. So, I was actually going to go to the Montreal-Toronto game because the previously mentioned girlfriend's brother-in-law is going to the game. He's a big Montreal fan who's just coming down to do a ruckus, but I'm sorry, Rev, I just can't get into Major League Soccer. It's just terrible. But
different strokes for different folks. I mean, if we were complete and total garbage, it's still what the local team is, and I I gotta get out and watch it in person.
To be honest, it's not the quality of football. It's the structure and the way it's.
Oh well, yeah. There's
no relegation, no prorogation, no promotion.
My caveat for it is if you're a Scottish guy that's never been to a game where if you took the percentage of the fans, there'd be like 50% of the fans who are just like oblivious to everything. 25% of the fans are kind of like the football hipster types. The other 25% are like the best people I've ever met, like decent football fans who go to the games, who are really fucking cool and like want to talk to you and hang out and all that sort of thing. And they're amazing, but unfortunately they're just so heavily outnumbered by guys who are just complete tools. So
we have fans for our own team who dress up like Vikings. I mean, come on,
Vikings.
So
for Red Bull,
yeah, because when the arena opened, they got a new coach from whatever Scandinavian country he came from, and he brought in a lot of Scandinavians, from Finland and Norway and everything, and Sweden. His whole staff was all, Scandinavian. So this one group kind of started wearing Viking helmets, and they call themselves Viking Army. I mean, all of those players have since left, but they're still holding on to that.
Weird.
Anyway, back to Celtic.
Okay, yes, please rein us back in again, Paulie D.
Right, what are we talking about? We do the Player of the Year stuff.
Oh, we could do Player of the Year. What do you want to do Player of the Year? Good. Tell me.
Have you got something else you want to talk about? Before
I have a couple of things. I wanted to go through a list, and you tell me. I'm going to give you a list of position by position. Tell me who's leaving.
Okay, Stokes.
Motherfucker. All right, listen. So Zaluska, gone or not gone?
She'll probably go.
Yeah.
Go. Now, can people please leave him alone now after the game he played in that 0-0 draw? Hey, come on.
I think
great. God, he's not a bad keeper. People think he's a shitful keeper. I don't understand.
You know what's weird, man, right? You get two types of things when players don't play, right? One of them is a player gets better when he doesn't play. So people are like calling out for him, like fucking Derek Riordan when he didn't play for Celtic. We're like, oh my god, talking about him like he's fucking Pele. Like, I can't believe Strachan's not playing him. He's the best player ever. If he came on, we'd just fucking win every game.
Oh, you
and
mean
then
like
Paddy McCourt
Paddy
had the
McCourt?
same thing. Yeah, Paddy McCourt had the same thing. Paddy McCourt was at least useful. But Zaluska, the more he doesn't play, the worse he is in people's minds. And to be honest with you, like, he's had some bad games, but if I remember last season before we brought in Gordon, he played a couple of games and he looked alright. He just looked like a bog standard SPL player, which he is. He's bog standard. Actually, he's probably like a good goalkeeper for all the other SPL teams, but he's not the standard that we want. Which is exactly what we knew he was when we bought him. So
it's funny. You had made the comment earlier, and I still subscribe to this after you had made the comment. So I believe you 100%, and I can't believe I said that out loud. But you had made the comment that he's a keeper that will save you points as compared to Gordon, who can win you points.
Yeah, I think the other point that I made about it was if you have a fantastic, excellent backup goalkeeper for Celtic, you're wasting money.
Yeah.
Because you should sell that player and go out and invest it in other parts.
You see Darren Randolph signed today.
Who?
Darren Randolph. There was one of the Irish.
Yeah, he went to West Ham.
West Ham, yeah. So interesting. So anyway,
yeah. So on Rev's Facebook page, because she's a big West Ham fan, aren't you?
Apparently so. All right, so here we go. So I'm just going to give you players that have the opportunity to go away. Obviously, defenders next. You have Matthews. He's not going anywhere. Izzy Gary's not going anywhere. Effie Ambrose, Ballon d'Or winner.
I think he stays.
He stays. He does stay, but not because I want him to stay. Van Dijk, yay or nay?
I don't know.
Hopefully stays.
I think he might stay for 6 months. I think he's gone in the winter.
There's one reason why he stays till January, and then one reason why he stays until August.
Well, yeah.
It's the same reason. Either you qualify or you don't. If we don't qualify and it's Europa, he's gone. See, he's off ski. That's my opinion.
It's going to be the Gary Hooper situation from a couple of years ago. If we didn't qualify for that Champions League, he would have been gone in the summer instead of the winter.
Exactly. Denier's gone. And then you have O'Connell, Fisher, and Callum Waters, Lustig. Those guys are all staying. Okay. So in the midfield, Mulgrew, he's not going. You think he's going to go anywhere?
Nope. Not at all.
I need to put him on that list.
You still need to fucking mention him. Right, on you go.
As my babysitter? No? Okay. Midfielders. Baton, you think could go somewhere? I saw $5 million bandied around for him earlier.
If someone offers $5 million,
go
take it.
Yeah, take it.
From 700,000 to 500 to $5 million. See you later.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, Bo Richter.
I hope so.
You go on loan somewhere. I bet he goes on loan. We've an inability to sell players. I don't think how on earth could we find any value for him. He'll go on loan, and we'll try and sell him at the end of his loan deal.
Keep that in mind because I'm going to talk about that in a few seconds. Armstrong, Commons, Steven, Rogic. He's still got, 2 years left?
I think he'll probably be another loan to sell situation.
Okay.
They'll try and find him a new club after some preseason games.
Yeah. Then you have Tonev, Wakaso are gone. Johansson, he's not going anywhere, do you think?
Nope.
No.
Staying.
Then you got McGregor and Forrest. Forrest probably stay, McGregor probably stay, right?
Well, McGregor's injured brutally at the moment, so...
Right. But Wakaso, Tonev, Bo Richter, those guys gone. All right, so then you have 4 strikers. Obviously, Guidetti and his comments gone. Then you're left with my boy Stokes. So in all seriousness, Stokesy, you think he goes?
I don't know.
You don't actually realise this, but me and Rev and Chris have already texted each other to arrange some form of celebration when he does leave. I'm only joking. I love Stokes, really. I just, when he does leave, can you take a picture of your face and put it on the internet? I think he's killed himself. Chris, is he still there?
Shit, what's that hotline number again?
He's fucking dead.
Delta
J, tell us you're alright. Oh, he's alive.
You're killing me. You're killing me.
Thought you fucking hung yourself there.
I almost did. I have enough freaking wires for this freaking setup to hang myself. So Guidetti, obviously Ofsky, and then what did he do? What? Give me the curious case of Stefan Skepovic. What's the story? What do you think's going on there? Or do we just go back to the way he pushed Griffiths and everything we talk about with these players? We always push back to everything in context to what Ronnie Dyla did in his speech. Is that what we do with Skepovic at this point in time?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, now that, we own him. He's not alone. We have him, it was 2 years or 3 years total?
It was a 4-year deal.
Oh, it was 4?
Yeah.
Okay. Then, he's definitely sticking around for at least another year.
Mm-hmm.
Without Guidetti, he'll probably see some more action, I would imagine. I would hope. But if it, the status quo remains this time next year, I think we might, try to move him on or, loan to sell.
He scores goals when he starts.
Right.
But let me tell you,
I'm
going to say this, and it's going to, and let me tell you, this is going to hurt as much as wiping your ass after you shit 15 times in one day. Let me tell you, this is exactly what's going to happen right now. Let me tell you the difference between Skepovic and Griffiths. Okay? Both of them score. I like the fact that both of them score. The only difference is Skepovic needs 15 chances.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Griffiths doesn't. He just doesn't. And oh my God! His goal at the end against Inverness. He's on his second or third touch of the ball, and he's outside the 18, and he still finds a way to roll it past the goalkeeper. Come on, really? That shouldn't even had an opportunity to shoot from there, and he does. So and just Skepovic. When I went to go when I was in Glasgow and I saw him play against Killy, and especially against Astra, he scored a goal in each game, and he had 75 chances. Anyway, so
is that because he's still a little young, right? He's like 24.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, do you think he's too old to kind of be retaught?
No, not at all.
Or is it?
Not at all.
Okay.
I don't think so. If you got comments coming out saying, it took us a while, and his comments today in the paper were actually pretty interesting. As you go into that comment, his comments this week have been, you know what, we were the reason why we sucked at the beginning of the year is because we were out during a game, actually running through training exercises.
Well, I mean, like
just playing. So if he can pick this shit up, and God knows he runs like he's carrying a freaking anchor. I mean, if he could pick it up, then I don't see a problem with Skepovic picking that up.
I mean, like I don't know if because I totally agree, that he needs a lot of chances in order to score goals. But is that something that's more just inherent, like a habit in how he plays, or is that more, or something that can be changed just by try doing this, try doing that, you know what I mean? Because I mean, throw it to baseball real quick. You see batters go through a slump, and then the batting coach will kind of give them some pointers, and you can be pretty much any age, and then all of a sudden now they've got a new stance, a new swing, and then they turn it around. I don't know. I haven't played, soccer long enough, competitively to know if that's something that no matter what, that's just how you're going to be.
All right, let's go ahead and feed into Paulie D one more time. Paulie, what was the comment that Dyla made about Griffith's striking ability? What did he say about Griffiths?
I think he said Griffiths was the best natural finisher he'd ever seen. But I think, away from joking aside, I think that Griffiths has an uncanny ability to find the corner of the net, which is really, really valuable as a striker. His movement is pretty good. Skepovic, completely different player. Shepovic, I don't know how you really want to pronounce his name. I think that his physical player can header the ball. It's a useful tool to have in your arsenal of strikers. I quite like that. He's a big physical guy. I think he's the type of player that if he scores, the whole thing of if he gets a run of games and scores a couple of goals, it'll progress and it'll be a level of confidence that will kind of help him become a better player, adapt to Ronnie's ideas, etc. However, do you have the patience to see that out? That's another question. I think we'll see how he is in pre-season, etc. At the moment, apparently, looking at it, his goal-scoring record is actually pretty good. But his performances haven't been great.
He just has. He doesn't have. He needs too many chances.
You know what? I'd rather have a striker who's scoring goals and not performing well than a player who's playing well and not scoring goals. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, listen. Here you go. You ready? What did over/under did I give you guys for Guidetti? I know we're going to do this later. We'll probably do this in a couple of weeks. But what was my over/under for Guidetti after the beginning of the year? It was 4 goals. What did he score? 2 more times? But what he did do in 3 or 4 games that he did play in February and March, he had 5 or 6 assists, big assists in games. So I mean, there's sometimes a trade-off. I mean, if you're part of a team that's actually closing games out and winning and scoring goals, and you're the striker, but you're not scoring the goals, but you're still involved, from an assist standpoint, I still give that value, don't you?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, it can be both ways, but I'm just telling you the difference between Skepovic and Griffiths is Griffiths doesn't need 35 chances.
I don't think he covers enough ground.
Doesn't have to. Fuck, he doesn't have to. Griffiths shoots from anywhere.
No, the
Skepovic. Yeah. Well,
I think that's one of the reasons he said he wasn't in the team.
Yeah,
where he's
exactly. But I'll tell you what, though, against Inverness, he ran his ass off.
Good for him.
He did run his ass off. I'll give you that.
Moving on. So is anyone else we're losing? We've got obviously Pookie, Baldy, and for Johnson.
Okay.
If you get the opportunity to get rid of them, you just get rid of them.
That was my next point. My next point was, what do we do with Pookie? Apparently, Bromby wants to buy him, but surprise, surprise, Celtic wants a decent amount of money for him.
Well, tough luck, Bromby. We'll find someone else to buy him.
Yeah. To be honest with you, I don't give a shit. Just get rid of him. Let him go.
How much are they really asking for?
Well, what do we pay for him? $3 million?
Mm-hmm.
And what Bromby probably wants to pay $500,000 for him. I didn't see a number, but whatever it is, it's probably at or close to what Celtic paid. And just because we're the dumbasses, I guess that's what happens. I guess we're going to get stuck with that one.
I mean, it's already been a couple years. If we get value for, say, the rest of his contract and break even, so to speak, fucking take it.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get close to break even on him. If we get $1 million from Bromby, I would bite their hand off for it. They give you $1 million, I'd take it tomorrow.
If we paid $3 million for 3 years, say, and they give us $1 million for the last year, take it.
Right.
This is a weird one though, because usually the players in the higher money back, the £2 million players have been the ones that have been duds for us. However, the ones where we pay a little bit extra for, we've actually found some quality. So they must have thought he was pretty decent for £3 million. Because that's a lot of money for us.
I know, that's what we paid for him. I mean, that's the whole point behind, the whole deals behind Bo Richter, Balde and Pookie. And if we hadn't spent $9 million on those three players or $7 million on those three players, what could we have spent $7 million on? That's that's an interesting concept. But I mean, I understand Celtic's thought process. I mean, they're trying to shotgun approach 4 players and hope one of them one or two of them pans out versus $7 million for a player that if that one guy doesn't pan out, then we're fucked.
Oh, totally. Yeah,
I totally understand that. So,
can I make one point about signing policy? Our boy Finn Borgesson finished the Spanish season.
Yeah, how'd he do? I haven't looked.
Well, it's bought him for $7.5 million, potentially rising to 10, and they put him on massive wages, and he scored a total of 4 goals, or is it 3 goals in 24 games, which is less than both Miku and Lasad.
Isn't that crazy?
So
you
know
what? If you go back,
greatest player to ever play football, apparently. That's what some people are saying.
I know. For as much bullshit as we heard from people crying out about Finn Bogason, that's funny shit. But then again, it's hindsight is 2020.
And I got someone on Facebook, on Twitter, tell me I need to fuck off and die because I was a hun fuck because I didn't want them to spend all that money plus wages on him. I said they should invest the money in a free transfer and bring in a free transfer on huge wages. That's what I said. So thanks to that guy. You're really cool. Whoever that guy was.
Well, listen. I could see why someone would say, you're a fucking hun because I saw you walking around the other day in a blue jacket.
Me and Gibby.
Yeah, you and your boy walking around in a blue jacket. I was like, damn, not even Rev would do that. We wear navy pinstripe, but we wouldn't wear blue, like that bullshit blue.
I had a Toronto Blue Jays jacket on the other day.
Don't try and justify yourself.
The head coach of Toronto Blue Jays.
Don't try and justify yourself. Wear that nasty blue. What the hell's wrong with you? Anyway, so let me put it this way. So if we were to let me ask you this: if we were to give a score to this season, a true score, 0 to 10, 10 being the top season we could ever have. Let's say that the Lisbon Lions was a 10. Okay, where would you give a score for this year? Now, the reason why I say that, I would ask that question because one of the best articles I've read in a long time, one of the most honest and true articles, Sam McClever, an article on Hail Out Media, where he gave this season a score of 4 out of 10. So give me a jog on Yaldi for that one, Rev. What do you think? If you were to give the season a score, what would you give it a score of?
I'd say more like a 6. I mean, I'd like to, obviously looking at it after it just ended and, kind of rose-colored glasses, I'm sure. But, I mean, we were, we took the league, but that doesn't really, that was in the bag since, before the first game started, really. It's a foregone conclusion. We did okay. We were in Champions League. We did okay, I think, in Europa League. Obviously not to what anybody wanted, but given our form in the first half of the year, I think, whatever. We got decent, I guess. And we were, 2 games away from a treble. So, I mean, I think that bumps it up a little bit. But 4, I think that's a little low. But I'd say at least a 5, maybe a 6.
So let me ask you this, Rev, before I let you finish off on that one. How much of that score that you give a 5 or a 6 is based on your feel-good feelings for what you think is going to happen next year?
Oh, that's none of it. That's all just based on just the season in the past.
Okay. Paulie, what do you think?
Well, taking it, you can't really say, hey, Lisbon Lions is a 10 and start comparing it to that.
Well, they did win everything?
Well, no, obviously that is a fucking 10, but it's like, the football from 1967 to now has changed so much. I think what you can do is set out the year, at the start of the year, priorities, and did you succeed or did you fail on those priorities? The priorities were qualify for the Champions League, win the league, with domestic cup success, and establishing a team that play good, attractive, attacking football and bring in players to build for next season. So out of those, you failed in going to the Champions League, however, redeemed yourself in the Europa League, which they did. They had a good Europa League, okay? So have they made a platform to build on? Yes, they've brought in good players. Like, one of my highlights for the season, which I was going to talk about later, is signing Mackay, Stevens and Armstrong. Yes. I think that's an absolute highlight for the money that we paid. Yep. We should be in jail for stealing them off United for that price, yes. You know what I mean? Right? So we've made a great platform for ourselves to build for next year. We had semi-success in Europe after a disappointment. We've had won 50% of the cups we could have won. So, and we were basically robbed out of the Scottish Cup as well. So you could hardly blame that on Celtic, to be honest with you, right?
Yeah.
We've won the league.
Don't forget, Stefan Johansson is the one who stopped us from actually qualifying for Champions League the second time around.
Yeah. Okay.
Remember, Van Dijk's header goes off of Johansson while he's in the goal.
Okay, we expected to win the league. Okay, so
yes.
what you say then is, did we win the league with good performances and in style? Well, we finished 17 points clear of the best team best other team that Scotland have seen in the last decade, probably. Because that Aberdeen team probably isn't the best other team that Scotland have seen in the last decade. The Scottish League has got significantly better in the top flight in the last couple of seasons. So, yeah, Aberdeen done well for themselves, pains me to say it, and we finished 17 points. So, successful league. We won a cup. We didn't qualify for Europe, but we redeemed ourselves in Europa League with some great performances. We've built a good squad, and we've been playing attacking football. And also, the feel-good factor of the club with like United under Ronnie and all that sort of thing, a lot of the bitching and moanings went away. So, you can't say if you can't compare it to Lisbon and say that's a 10, so we're a 9 or something like that, because that's just ridiculous. But out of the things that you've set at the start of the season to achieve, realistically, we've hit most of them. So I'd say it's a fucking 8 or something like that. Yeah.
Really? Wow.
It's just the only disappointment. Like, you take away the Scottish Cup, obviously that's a disappointment for not winning the Scottish Cup, not our fault. The only thing that you really blame ourselves for is not getting into the Champions League, and I give him a pass on the basis that it was Ronnie's first games. The whole pre-season was a shambles basically, and we were playing at Murrayfield and all this, and he didn't have his own players, and I think I'd give him a pass.
I'd give you a pass on that too. I would say for me, I love the article. 4 out of 10. Okay. I mean that's Sam's opinion. I would say between.
So who wrote this exactly?
Sam McLeod. He's the Sam McLeod at the Sam McLeod. It's on Hail Media. It was actually a really, really good article. It talks about his points about the year. It was actually pretty good.
Did he want the Celtic players to? Did he want the Celtic players to balance the ball on their cock or something? I mean,
no, I don't think so.
Especially one.
I don't think so. But I don't know. I may go a little higher, and the reason why I would go higher is because of the way they did perform in the cups this year versus what they had done in the past. I mean, there was no clunkers like against Morton. You know what I mean?
Right.
And even in the game against Cali Thistle, which, by the way, Cali Thistle, whoever runs their Twitter is a fucking riot. Did you see today's Twitter post?
Yeah.
The guy that runs the Cali Thistle website goes to Toronto FC games. I might see him later today. So I might actually see this.
Whoever runs their Twitter is a fucking riot. Because his comment today, because obviously they won with 10 men, right? They won with 10 men. So what did he say here? Hold on. Hold on 1 second. Here we go. He said, see Celtic, that's how you win a game with 10 men. Sorry, ... That's fucking funny. That's funny shit. That's good stuff. Say you win a game with 10 men. Now, granted, I mean, you have the whole 10 men won the league thing. But
right.
that is pretty funny, and that's hilarious. But then again, they were honest and said, great save by Meekings. So, I mean, they're honest about it. I could imagine the Celtic Twitter feed being that honest about something. But anyway, I mean, I thought that was good stuff. He's funny, or she's funny, and anyway. So that being said, last thing I had was a team of the year. So you guys want to go? You want to go through if we would have all our best players, even if they were healthy, even the ones that are hurt, we give them a team of the year. We go ahead and pick our top 11. You want to do that real quick?
Yeah.
So in the goal, definitely we've got our boy. Let me pull it up here. We definitely have my favorite goalkeepers, Luska in the goal, right? No, I'm like
wait. Right.
Sorry.
Listen, I think the only position you could really argue about here is right back. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
So you've got left back as a
Gordon, Denier, Van Dijk, Izzy.
Okay. Ignore right back for now. Okay. Yeah. So your two centre midfield players would be Beaton and Beaton and Brown, right?
Yes.
So the next three attacking players.
Those are hold on, wait a second. The ones that are for grabs, you're going to end up with Johansson as the guy in the middle of the diamond doing what he does, which gives you three players up front and a right back that we have to discuss.
So I'd say Griffiths is up front.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So and then
so you have two wide players playing supporting Griffs. So what do you got?
I'd probably say Armstrong and Mackay Stevens.
No way. No, I'll give you Mackay Stevens on down the right side.
So you think what Clemens?
Stokes is so much better. Come on, Stokes and Izzy together. Come on, listen. How much wider is that field with Stokes and Izzy? 90% of their game is on that touchline. Come on, Armstrong is not a wide player. He's not a wide player. Him and Stokes are not the same. They're not interchangeable. And when Armstrong plays as compared to Stokes, that team becomes much more narrow. You know it, and I know it. Damn, that's like crickets. What the hell is that all about? Is that not true?
I'm thinking. That's Stokes obviously was it in the first half of the season, so he's got that going for him. So it's been a while since we really got to kind of see him compare the two. But
hello,
yeah,
you
hear me?
I hear you.
Okay, all right. I think that Armstrong and Mackay Stevens just edge out Stokes.
I can't.
But again, that's looking at it from recent history, second half of the season.
Yeah, I'd probably say that's true, but I feel that we couldn't really have an STG team of the year without having both Stokes and Griffiths.
Team 4G. Team 4G. Stokes and Griffiths. Team 4G. Of course, they both have the fake hair on top. That was, I think AstroTurf.
You've got Commons, Forrest, Stokes, and
McGregor.
You could say that.
Yeah. That makes it tough. That does make it tough. But I don't think Armstrong is waltzes into the top part of that. I just don't. I know people love him, but I just don't see it. I guess maybe it's because I just love Tony. I guess it's man crush time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
So who are we going with? Are we going with Mackay Stevens and Armstrong? Or
I guess I got voted out. So you and Rev stick with Armstrong. So that's how it works. But you Lustig or Matthews?
Okay. Well, here's the thing. I'm going to be outvoted here. I think who's the best?
Who's the best? What? You broke up there. Hold on, Paul. I'm just going to go ahead and deny. So we're looking. Well, I try and get him back here in a second. If you look at Lustig or you look at Matthews on the right hand side, I would like to see Lustig. That's my own personal there. You're back.
I said Effie Ambrose and you hung up on me.
Well, that's exactly what I did.
So
you better well damn believe it. I'm going ahead and I'm not adding his ass in there. No way.
You can outvote me, but I just want my vote to be cast for Effie Ambrose for Team of the Year.
Effie Ambrose for Team of the Year. I can't take it. Oh my God, what happened here? Rev, you there?
Okay. Yeah.
All right, Paul, where'd you go? Add people this call.
My bad. Fucked up.
I don't know what the hell happened here. We got rid of Paul. There we go. Rev, you there?
Yeah.
All right. Call me back, Paulie D. Let's go ahead. If we add someone to this call, what happened here? I don't know. Who knows? No answer. All right, so Paul, come back. That's what Paul gets for voting against my boy Stokes. I had to fucking get rid of him. Oh, never mind. He called. I guess his computer's working. You there?
Hello? I'm here. How are you?
This is killing me.
Are we back?
We're trying. Back. Rev, what happened? You there? Yeah. Hold on.
Anyway, let's keep talking while...
Resume call. All right, let me add people this call. Not on this call. Cancel. I don't know. You know, sometimes I hate this shit.
This must be so exciting for people listening.
This is so exciting to go ahead and deal with this bullshit. It must be. There we go. So let's go ahead. If we add, here he is. You there?
I'm here.
Hooray.
Okay.
There we go. All right.
All right. So my vote was Effie Ambrose, but I'm going to get outvoted here. So
dear God, Effie Ambrose is right back. You know what's sad? He may not be the top person, but he did float the boat when the boat needed to be floated. He did. I will give him that. That's as far as I can throw him.
I don't think he's a great player. I just think that he's fucking got stuck in when he got asked to stuck in. So
he did. And God bless him for that. He did.
And you know what? He plays with so many people. It's actually probably one of the reasons I'm voting for Effie is because the people that go on about Effie Ambrose being shit piss me off. So just to fucking piss them off, I'm going to say Effie Ambrose.
I don't understand your point. He is shit.
No, but like the people who are like actually going about hating the guy and all that.
I mean, why hate anybody? Hate is ridiculous. Don't hate anybody. Come on, this is that's what I understand about hate in Twitter and Facebook and everything else. This is supposed to be my fun time.
Okay, let's move on.
What do I want to hate people for? Anyway, all right.
Right. So who you pick right back?
Who do I put right back? I'm putting Lustig right back. He's my boy. He really is.
I go with Lustig too. I
just
generally like Matthews more, but going on this season, I go with Lustig.
Yeah, I think Lustig's probably one of the best all-round football players we have at Celtic, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I was thinking of because I was looking at what shirt do I get for next year because I'm going to buy the shirt and should I get a name on it? I was tempted to get Lustig on the back yet because I think he's fucking great. But
so are you happy to hear that he wasn't going to play for Sweden this summer?
Well, he's a bit fucking broke for that, is he not?
No, he's almost back now.
Yeah, he needs a bit of a...
Hell, Mulgrew walked right into the damn Scotland squad.
Did he?
Yeah, he played 30 minutes, and all of a sudden, But I like that idea. I'm glad he did. I'm glad Strachan's taking him. That way, he's getting some football before the
get some training and shit. Yeah.
But as far as Lustig, man, I put his ass under fucking glass. Break when needed. Don't do anything until I need you in July.
So we got our team of the year then. The team of the year is Gordon, Lustig, Izagiri, Van Dijk, Denier, Beaton, Brown, Johansson, Gary Mackay-Stevens, Armstrong, and Lee Griffiths. So well done to them. We'll do the player of the year
with the honourable mention of Tony Stokes. But go ahead.
We'll do player of the year. We'll do comeback player of the year / turnaround player. Now I'm going to put out nominations here, and feel free to nominate anyone else in this. So we'll do player of the year first, and then we'll go on to comeback player of the year.
There you go.
Or we'll do it the other way about it. The comeback player of the year / turnaround, most improved, whatever you want to do, is you've got Beaton, Griffiths, Forrest, and Izagiri. Forrest maybe contribution. Right. So what do you think?
How come you don't put Gordon there, coming back from nothing?
Because he didn't play for us before.
Okay, fair enough.
He's in the player of the year candidate, to be honest with you.
Got it.
So these four aren't up for player of the year.
That's a good one. Rev, what do you think?
I'd go with, personally, I would go with Griffiths, but I think Baton actually probably deserves a little more.
I'm stuck between three players. That's a great feeling.
It is. Good problem to have. I'm with Rev on that one. I say Baton is the player of all of those, and the only reason why that I would give any other thought to any other player would be the fact that that Forrest didn't get hurt again the second half of the year.
Well, I'm actually going to pick Ezagiri. So, what my thinking of this is that I think Beaton's performances from Christmas onwards have been when he's had that run, have been pretty stunning, and he really helped out the team. Griffiths has been banging in the goals, and same with him. He's been great since he came into the team, and both of those players have the same thing of a great turnaround where they were out the team and then fought their way in and put their head down and showed great attitude, and they're playing great. Ezagiri, although he's just been great all season, and he's playing the best football he's played in years, and the improvement from last season to this season has been fucking unmeasurable, to be honest with you. So I'd give it to Ezagiri. So you're saying Beaton and you're saying Griffiths, so 3 different picks there. So that's quite good.
I'd say Beaton only because from where he started and this year as far as cult hero status. Izagiri has always been to that level with the fans, and Forrest is just now beginning to assert himself when he gets on the pitch. Yeah. Baton has been an absolute rock in the middle of the field for probably 60% of the season, and I think the best thing happening to Baton was 2 things: one, Lennon leaving, and 2, Mulgrew going bye for a while, and that really allowed Baton to really step up.
I wouldn't resent any of those 3 players getting it, and an honourable mention to Forrest, I'd say. But so before we do Player of the Year, we'll do biggest disappointment of the year.
Ooh.
So you feel free to add to this as well, but I think they're pretty much obvious ones. There's Guidetti, Shepovic, Wakaso, and Tonev.
Ooh. You don't put Bo Richter on that one?
I think we knew at the start of the season he was going to be terrible. In fact, we actually said that we weren't too sure of Wakaso and Tonev. I don't know.
You know, right, of all those, the one that I thought was the absolute most pishiest of pish was Tonev.
I never expected anything from him, to be honest. So I don't even really.
He was that bad. I mean, he was literally Remember when he came on in the cup semi, and he went to take a corner, and he basically dribbled it, and it got knocked back to him, and then he tried to go ahead and cross the ball from just outside the box, and he hit it into the 3rd row at Hampden. Dear God, that's a professional footballer? Wow.
Out of those 4 players, Shepovic I've not quite given up on yet, right?
No, he doesn't belong. He doesn't belong there yet.
Yeah, so you can take him out, right?
Yeah.
And Castle and Tony, I didn't like their loan deals. So it's just like, right, cool. If they come and do something, great. If not, right, whatever. So I was disappointed by them. They didn't do anything, but whatever. You know what I mean? The one that I was disappointed by was obviously Guidetti again alone. He looked like he was going to become this cult hero and this goal machine for us, and it just didn't work out, man. So
let me ask you a question: why don't you put Callum McGregor in that context then also?
Because yet again, I feel that he could improve. We've got him it was disappointing to see him come in and then
do really well.
He done well for a while,
yeah.
But it was basically just because he came in, he was rushed in because we didn't have any other players for the position at the time, I think. You know what I mean? And he played well. And I think he needs another season playing youth football and then come up to us. And then see what happens. But I wouldn't put McGregor in the big disappointment, so I'd say Guidetti is a big disappointment for me. So
now Guidetti biggest disappointment basically because of not just of how he ended the season, but because of what you thought he was going to be halfway through the first month of him being here.
Oh yeah, no, I along with everyone else, we're calling for him to, get signed permanently. And looking back, totally glad we didn't.
I remember we done good points, bad points at Christmas, and one of the things that I said was I can't really complain at the moment because I think things are on the up. I suppose picking hairs, the one thing I'm disappointed about is that we haven't signed Guidetti yet. So it's actually that pissed off Guidetti.
Well, let me ask you this. Let's
disappointed that get signed now.
Let's change. Hold on. Before you go any further, let's change the context of the conversation. Okay, so we're saying that now based on the fact he didn't sign. Do you think if he signs in January that we end up with, I have a point. The reason I'm going to say this is I have a point to this. Do you think it changes? Do you think his output and his effort that people questioned, do you think that changes based on the fact that he signs in January versus not signing?
I don't think anything really changes all that much because it's not really that. I don't think he was not trying.
Mm-hmm.
He was trying. It just, call it a slump or just he was, off focus or something like that.
Do you think the fans he felt the fans getting on him because he didn't sign? Because there's a lot of grief running around
towards him.
Sign. Yeah, towards him.
I didn't really feel that too much. I mean, I could have just missed out on that. I know a lot of people wanted him to sign, but I don't really remember anyone going after him for that.
Right.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think I'm with Greg. Yeah, there.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to probably shoot in a minute. So can we do the Player of the Year thing and then
do the Player of the Year, and we'll just do a quick top 5, bottom 5, and get out of here.
All right, we'll do top 5, bottom 5. Then we'll end with Player of the Year.
Okay. So you have a top 5, bottom 5, or you just want me to throw mine out there?
You just throw yours out because I've not got much.
Okay. So obviously top 5, League Cup win, League Championship, that was good. The signing of GMS and Armstrong, those were all good. Okay. And also the avoidance of Owen Coyle. To me, that was the top 5. And the number one top 5 for me, obviously, was our goals against this year, and most of the fact that we gave up 5 goals since Christmas in the league. That we end up with a record for that. That's amazing. Bottom 5, no Stokes next year. That's my top bottom 5. No trip to the USA for Celtic. This year, no Champions League, no treble, and obviously for Chris, there's still no Buckfast in the USA.
Well, I've just actually thought of something. You've got all your obvious positives of we've won the league, we're playing great football, we like our new manager, we're signing good young players and all that sort of thing, great platform for next year. Just from a kind of business standpoint, I know people hate this, but is this the first year we haven't just spunked money on someone who's fucking pish? Have we actually purchased anyone who's pish this season?
Unless you're going to say Skepevich is the one, then not really.
I don't think he's really that bad.
No, he's returned. We had 4 loan players that didn't cost us anything.
Right.
Yeah, whereas we'd assigned a Baldi and a Pookie and a fucking Borictor and all that in the last few years before. So, the positive would be that we've not signed absolute nuggets so far.
Yeah, just
I'm not that keen on. When we're signing new players, I'm kind of reluctant, man. You know what I mean? I just want people to come in who are 1 or 2 signings who sound good. I think I like the signing of the Bayata. I think I'd quite like that. I would have liked the sound of the Evian boy, but I don't know about that.
Well, he may come in January. Who knows?
Yeah.
Or October.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see. So let's go your Player of the Year. Go ahead. You got to run.
Okay. The nominations are Denier, Virgil van Dijk, Scott Brown, Craig Gordon, and Stefan Johansson.
Rev, you want to take that one first?
Going out on a limb, I think I'd go with Brown.
Oh, right, okay.
I just he was there, he was solid. He didn't really have some crazy flashes and stuff. Scored a couple goals here and there and everything, but he just was pretty solid all year, and just controlled the midfield, and had the good banter in the cup game against them. That always bumps you up a couple points, but it's a hard decision. I think Johansson's a really good pick. Craig Gordon's a really good pick, but just something about Brown this year, I think I'd go with him.
I don't think you could argue that. Okay, Rev, Dr. J, what are you thinking?
Rev, I'm with you 100%. Here's the reason why. Scott Brown's our Player of the Year, and you can go all the way back to when he blew out his hamstring. We have him in the qualifiers. I think the qualifiers are different, are totally different outcome and result. And there was a point in time in which earlier in the year, Paul, you and I were on this exact podcast talking about, do we rely too much on him? That's how integral that man was this year, and that's the reason why for me, any other person voting for anyone else besides Scott Brown doesn't realize how important that guy is to the motor of that team.
Well, looking at, I'm going to basically go through it. I think that see Jason Denier. If Jason Denier had signed on a permanent deal for us on a 5-year contract,
oh my god,
we'd be jizzing ourselves. One of the reasons he hasn't been so heavily touted is the fact that we know it's just a short-term deal, 1 year. He's been absolutely fantastic for us. So he's going back to Man City. We're not going to get him. Let's not greet about that. Let's just shake his hand and be like, thanks very much, because you've done a fucking solid effort for us. So big props to him. Then you've got Virgil van Dijk. I thought he was pretty solid. Did have some slack games. He's been good, but I don't think he's been as good as the rest of them. You've got Johansson, who obviously won the Player of the Year, where the reason that I would not give it to Johansson is I think he's been phenomenal since Christmas and all that, and January onwards. But do you remember at the start of the year when we were playing really badly and he was playing centre midfield? He was playing out of position for about a month, maybe a month and a half. And Celtic were playing terrible, and we flagged up straight away that he couldn't play centre midfield. He's like, he's out of position.
That was before Baton had taken over.
Yeah, before Baton had taken over. Yep. It was when we had Brendan, my mate, on the show, and we were watching the game, and we counted the number of times he won the ball in centre midfield, and we were heavily criticising him because, quite right, he just can't play that position. Yep. So, although it's not his fault, he's just playing out of position, but he was playing badly in that month period when he was playing that role. So, as Player of the Year goes, I'd exclude him on the basis of he had a month where he was pretty pish, but then he had the rest of the season when he was absolutely phenomenal. Yeah. Whereas consistency-wise, Brown and Gordon's been, away from one game against Inter Milan.
Yeah, just the first half.
Guy's been an absolute revelation to get on a free transfer. Absolute revelation. Probably the best goalkeeper I've seen at Celtic in my life. To be honest with you, I think he's better than Fraser Forster. I think he's much better.
Oh God, yeah.
I'm always skeptical. About bigging up goalkeepers, because the second you big up a goalkeeper, he just turns up utter shite for no reason.
Right.
But I was going to give it to Craig Gordon, and I was determined to give it to Craig Gordon at the start of this conversation. But I think you're right. I think Brown's just been phenomenal from start to finish.
Yes.
He's just such a miss when he comes out of the team. Absolute honourable mention to Craig Gordon, but I'm just going to tip it to Brown and no more.
Yes.
So it's official three-man vote.
Yeah. If you were to put that into he's added into the situation. If you make this like a chemistry equation, he's an integral part and a catalyst. He's there. Sometimes he doesn't actually end up as one of the results or one of the reasons why you win, but he's there the entire time. He's not afraid. He's not going to back down. He's going to stand up. Even his stupid red card, if you want to go ahead and gig him for that against Aberdeen, where he didn't do anything. Even if that's the case, when he's in there, you can tell, and when he's not there, you can tell even more. And that's the reason why there's, for this year, and that's tough, and that's one of the things that, Paul, you and I talked about. What are we going to do with him? What in the world are we going to do if something happens to him moving forward? That's still a position that we don't have to fill unless you're going to pull Liam Henderson. Unless Liam Henderson really grows up while he's at Rosenborg right now. So that's a toughie. But anyway, you guys there? Did I lose you again? Anyway, all right. So listen, guys, we've been 93 minutes. I'm going to drop these boys off. They just went away. I'm going to go ahead and cancel this out. They're done. There we go. So, everyone, that's our end of the year season thing here. I'm going to go ahead and cancel everything off. What happened here? See? Why did that not work? I was going to say goodbye. Here you go. All right, boys.
I'm here.
What happened? Paulie D, I'm going to let you go ahead and go. We're going to go ahead and get out of here. I've got a honey-do list about a mile long. My wife is calling me every 2 minutes, asking me.
Yeah. No worries, guys. This isn't going to be the last episode of the show.
No, it is not.
No, we're going to come on. We've got a couple of ideas of things.
Oh yeah, don't forget. Yeah, go ahead and finish that off. I was going to quit and then forgot to say that. Go ahead.
Well, what shall I say about what we're doing?
About tomorrow, sweepstakes.
Oh yeah, are you still there?
I'm here.
I think we've lost Rev. Anyway.
Yeah, Rev failed.
Get us on Twitter, right? What you do is obviously Motherwell are playing Sevco tomorrow. and they're 3-1 down to get into the Premier League. What you have to do is tweet us the minute that you think that Bobby Madden or whatever a Sevco referee is going to give Sevco a penalty. So just pick the because it's going to happen,
Yes.
isn't it? So
hashtag honest mistake.
Hashtag honest mistake. So pick out your honest mistake of what minute the honest mistake is going to come by, and if you get the minute or the closest minute to it, you get a prize from the Smell the Glove show.
Yeah, we're going to send you some Bod Deep stickers if you actually do that. So just tweet us at the beginning of the game tomorrow. I think what's the game? 3:00 tomorrow.
It's 3 o'clock.
3:00
Is
tomorrow,
it?
Celtic time. Yeah. So it'll be at STG Celtic Podcast, or if you want to go ahead and add me at MB Bod Deep and go ahead and send me something, you can send it to Paul. Just use the hashtag honest mistake and then put in a time, and at the end we'll go ahead and see who wins, because there was no winner last time. Bobby Madden actually had one of his best games ever. I couldn't believe it happened.
I didn't actually watch the game at all. Football interest.
It was good. I laughed. I cried. It became a part of me.
Yeah.
And then
Anyway.
we have one more show. We have one or two more shows. We're going to do.
We'll probably do a couple over summer on the basis that we'll do previews for next season.
Yes.
We're going to have a look back on a few older Celtic teams and all that sort of thing. We're going to talk about, because a lot of it is there. A lot of the guys we know listen to the show are guys from North America who've probably just started getting into the show recently. Getting into Celtic recently. So we're going to talk about a few older teams and a few older players to kind of talk you through their kind of history of the club. And we're also going to do another show where our draft show.
Yeah,
we'll talk about that.
Yep, we'll do that later.
We're going to do a fantasy NFL draft style of Celtic players of the last 10 years.
And then we're also going to do a retrospective of our show. We're going to go back and pull down all of our over-unders and all of our bullshit comments, and we're going to go through and see how many times we were right.
Or probably wrong.
Or probably
more
wrong.
likely.
That's exactly right. So,
all right.
Say it. Hail, hail.
Hail, hail. Smell the glove.
Smell the
See
glove.
y'all there.
Thank you guys. See you later. Take care, and we'll talk to you soon. And don't forget, we are still champions.
Wasting no time on that, let us get into a legacy built on deception and sin by the people in suits holding whistles and flutes. And with these type of people, there's no time for truth. They got money, prestige, riches galore, and they're against everything that we've been fighting for. And they're wanting to crush us cause they love a war. And if the media like them, they might get paid more. But these people, they tend to get carried away. And the proof is the fact that we stand here today. No matter what you said, what you done, thought you were the people and we were the scum. You had every advantage under the sun. And this blood will run in the sons of our sons. We saw your culture of handshakes, pillars and peers as you plundered your way through those asterisk years. We heard nothing but venom ring in our ears. From the papers to airwaves, it's all engineered to send out a message so loud and so clear. You don't like our type around here, but everything isn't as it appears. Under the surface, the real profiteers can do no more hiding the reckoning's here. Swapping succulent lime now for crocodile tears. No matter what you said, what you done, you thought you were the people and we were the scum. You had every advantage under the sun. And this blood will run in the sons of our sons.
Despite all the pain, and taking more than you need. Everybody can sing, 'cause your history reads.
No matter what you said, what you done, you thought you were the people and we were the scum. You had every advantage under the sun. And this blood will run in the sons of our sons.